in a relationship, age matters. Do you think it matters? He's feeling targeted.
No. You need to specify. Was anyone younger than Ivan?
Hey, calm down. Let's get
Ivan is
No,
20.
even his age.
Oh my God.
I see what you did there. Let's say clean. Shh, guys, come on. Let me speak.
Yeah.
Do I think age matters?
Yes.
To an extent, I don't. I don't think it matters.
Wow.
I'm really trying. I don't think it matters because in terms of where the person is mentally, I think that's a big factor. Because someone can be 30 and they're still moving like a 19-year-old person. So you're saying, okay, this person is 30, they have a job, they have everything, but they're a child, literally in all senses. So would you still go for that person because you're closer to their age? So I don't believe that it matters. That to an extent, I don't believe it matters that much.
Cool. Madam
I
Tracy.
think it does.
Yeah.
First of all, you don't want to catch a case. Second of all,
Wait, we're talking about above 18.
Guys.
no, I'm just saying. I'm just
18
saying. Yeah.
is the
it had to
pass mark. Yeah.
So 18 is the pass mark.
Even that's
okay.
problematic.
Yeah.
Say 21.
Like anyone Ivan's age, just saying.
Dang.
But yeah, I feel
Ivan
like
just been thrown under the bus.
sorry.
Yes, I didn't want Ivan's age.
You have to be above 21, bro.
yeah, you have to be above 21. Even alcohol, you are supposed to be above 21.
18.
In
Anyway,
what world?
18.
In Germany, it's 15.
In America, okay.
in America, I'm
How
thinking
are we in
of
America?
In Kenya, it's 18.
because
Anyway,
Take
go
our
on.
women, you want to take our alcohol too.
Oh,
They will continue.
Tracy.
anyway, for me, why I'm saying it matters is because I don't know. I feel like younger people,
Guy.
they've not matured enough for me. Like your brain, you're moving mad. Your brain hasn't matured enough. I'm not saying you, Ivan.
No one
I'm
has
just
said
saying
me.
anyone your age and below, not below actually, like anyone 21, 22, anyone around that age, they've not matured enough for me. So yeah.
I love this. I love this.
Wow,
Yeah.
right. Brett Hill.
I can't date anyone younger.
Than you. What's the reason?
God, I feel like one day the Lord will make me swallow all my
And I will laugh.
and Q will play this clip at my
Oh
wedding.
my God, yes.
All of us will be there.
Oh,
we will
no.
be there.
No, I don't like. I've just never. So my history of like, I've never been attracted to anyone younger because I have younger brothers. You have to. So anyone younger,
That's
I see them as like a child.
Tracy,
that's kind of
Tracy looked
problematic.
at you in a weird way there, but anyway.
No, like anyone younger than me, I see them as like a child. And my brother is like 4 years younger than me, so I can't even compute that there's people like nah, bro.
All right. I'll come back and I'll have a
Below your
question
age.
for you.
That are dateable.
Eric?
I think for me, age matters, but I don't think it's their age that matters. I think it's my own. Because my own age will be, let's say, like the yardstick of which I measure what I can date. For me, personally, I think it's above 3 years and under 3 years. There's a window of 3 years above and 3 years below. That's acceptable for me and the age that I'm in right now. So my age matters because as I get older, that kind of mentality will shift. It will become, I can only date younger. It will reach a point, I can only date those ones at the same age. So I think my age matters.
Wait.
What?
Wait. You said there'll come a time when you can only date younger girls. Now you can date older, but there'll come a time when you can only date younger.
Yeah, I know.
Please explain.
I know I might be catching misogynistic case here.
Yep. I'm about to throw hand.
100% I'll support you. Yeah, I'm like scientifically speaking. I want a family and kids. I don't want. I want kids. It's acceptable. Scientifically speaking, it's acceptable that when you want kids, you might want kids with a younger woman.
But you don't throw the mic, please.
Relax. It sounds. I don't know. Sarah had when she's old. It was Sarah.
Scientifically, you
She's speechless. Welcome to the part of the show where we make Bato speechless yet
I
again.
don't even know what to say. He said scientifically, you can only have kids with younger women.
No. Better kids with younger people.
Better kids.
Yay!
Can we just move on, please?
Scientifically speaking, genetics, brain
There's
development.
a higher chance of getting children with a younger woman, scientifically proven.
Yes.
That's
No,
what you're
she-
trying to
Because
say.
the
said
eggs are
better
younger.
children.
That's
he said
the
better
eggs are
children.
younger.
I'm supporting the younger because like there's a higher chance of getting children when they're younger.
Also
than
that.
when
Also
they're-
their
wrong with those
fertility.
that we
Yeah.
also nothing. Who said there's anything? No one has.
No,
has
explain
thrown
why
shade on
it would
all-
be better children. Okay,
The eggs are younger. That's what I mean.
meaning
I
what?
feel like this is going south. I don't even know.
I said I'd support you. I support you.
No!
I'm even trying to remember my question
Yeah,
to Batu.
let as Quentin is speaking. let us go while I'm saying
Batu. Okay, finish fast.
it's
Go
very
on.
scientific
Keep
that
doing it.
what? No,
Digging that grave.
digging what grave?
No one is dying.
As you grow older, your eggs get older. It's age.
It's maturing. It's not age. That's what they say. Yeah.
So, Batu, I have a question for you. For you and Tracy, you have two people, for example. It's a theoretical, idealistic world. Two gentlemen, and one is younger than you, financially stable. Second one, older than you, but doesn't have a job. And you're attracted to both of them. Who would you go for?
That wouldn't happen. I wouldn't be attracted
No,
to
it's a
people in
question.
September.
It's a question.
Anyway,
That's a lie. Tracy has
shut
got-
up. Shut up. So, how much younger? Like how many? How?
Yeah.
A year,
Oh, yeah. I would definitely go for the one that is younger than me.
2 years,
Still,
3.
no.
All right.
Wait, I actually would.
Okay, Batu.
Give it a thought.
Two guys. One is older with no job. The other one is younger but has a job.
Oh my days.
Both not my type. No. I actually don't know.
No, give us an answer. Be assertive.
I genuinely don't know. Like, it would have to be how much I like them. Like, I don't know.
You like them a lot.
I don't know the younger guy thing. I just don't know. Like, I don't know how to.
Why do you think younger people are not, in terms of maturity, able to handle people who are older than
From
them?
my experience,
All right.
even a guy my age, it's just so exhausting. It's not
It's
that
the people
they,
you
it's
know.
not, it's
It's
not
yeah,
that-
it's the
it's
people
the
you
guys you
know.
know.
it's not that they're completely undateable. Of course you could compromise on certain things and people can work through certain things. It's not it's not so far off that I would date someone younger. But I'm just saying, like, it's not my ideal. So both those cases are not for me my ideal. Like, I would struggle in both. I would struggle in both, but the one that seems more palatable is the younger guy with a job.
I feel like the age thing is an insecurity
All right.
for like myself.
Yes, yeah, me too.
Yeah.
It's completely on me and
Yeah,
not on
it's
the
an
on the guy.
insecurity.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
all I'm saying.
Okay. Like, you're not adding anything? Like, what type
No,
of
because
insecurity?
like if you're dating someone that is younger than you, it's just a huge insecurity. Like I wouldn't want to, even my friends, even if they ask me, oh, so you guys are, it's so embarrassing, man.
It's embarrassing.
like
You know,
you're
like my
snatching or
yes.
It's
something.
like you're with some you're with
You're
a
like a-
child.
Thank you.
You're with a
That's
child.
Even you have been an
literally.
embarrassment before.
That's true.
So it's more of a selfish reason.
Yeah.
And that's what. So for me,
I
even
don't
for me,
think
it's like
so.
it's just how I view like a younger guy. For me, is I see my brothers, and I'm just like I can't comprehend that. I can't comprehend me be no.
So I do understand that because
Yeah,
what happens is ideally ladies usually mature faster than guys. That's why you'll see if a guy is 28 marrying a lady who's like 21, 22, 23.
21.
Why?
Yes. It's true. So that's like a 7-year gap.
Anyway,
Yeah.
Jennifer
Yeah,
Lopez.
usually it's like 7 years going down, right?
Yeah.
It's 5 to 7.
Because mostly us guys, we
take
never
our time.
really fully mature. Because
Yeah, that's true.
even
Can
in
look at
our
Avon.
50s, we'll still be doing really silly things.
It's not silly.
That has nothing to do with maturity.
Yeah. Fun is fun.
Fun is fun.
But this is what I think. It's a subjective sort of thinking. Now, there are guys who I believe are able to actually step out and think differently depending on the circumstances that they're in. So they're forced to mature faster than, or rather at the same rate as most ladies, or even faster than most ladies. That's why you'd find most ladies would be doing silly things, partying, clubbing, all those things. And then within a year, they switch up, they're married, and they're homemakers. And then the guy who was the same age is just like, oh my God, this dude changed. What's happening? And the guy continues partying all the way into their 30s. So I think based on the world today, ladies are stepping up more in doing things. So as Bato is saying, they're becoming Bato. Financially stable, all these different things. And then guys are just out here.
Full stop. Just
Yeah.
out here. Just out here.
Wilding.
So based on that, what do you think? Do you think the church is doing anything to correct that immaturity in guys?
No.
That's it.
Yeah.
No.
I think there's been a concerted effort in recent past to really empower the women, to be fair, and like a lot of resources have gone to that. But there's almost like an epidemic now of like not even men actually don't even go to church. You know, a lot, like most of the population in church is women. So even even spiritually, like you find women are doing better in every sense, economically, spiritually, and all of those other aspects. But is the church doing enough? I feel like the church could do more, but I don't know. But men also have to be willing, because like there's programs like that are present for men to do, Man Enough, the Banker, all of those things. But you find men just don't go.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. A lot of men have done Man Enough, for example, which is Man Enough is more of it's a program by Transformations that they take men through, I don't know how many weeks.
10 weeks, I think.
10 weeks program, teaching them about how to be men and all that. It's a great program. I actually worked in that company for some time. The problem that I'm having is I've heard stories of men who've gone through Man Enough and then go out and start wilding or continue wilding.
Like a short break.
Because so we make, that's another thing. I'm gonna phrase it. I'm gonna butcher it, but someone said that to me. We make programs for discipleship, and then people don't know how to carry on the discipleship after the program is done. That's the problem. So people disciple people. Programs don't disciple people. So it needs to continue further than the 10 weeks. It needs to be like, I think the 10 weeks is supposed to build community. Kind of like when you do Mizizi, and then they carry on to be your life group. So Man Enough then should be the same. Like you do the 10 weeks and then these people become your community of men, and then you go do life with them after that. Like it doesn't stop.
All right. Ivan, anything to say?
About the church trying.
Yeah.
Before I get there, I would just like to say getting into programs for a guy is very hard. It has to do a lot with humility, which most men innately have to learn. They don't know it innately, they have to learn it.
Yeah.
And I think that there's an unspoken societal pressure when it comes to men being in church and actually being serious in church.
Yeah.
Like if a guy comes to church and they're coming to look for women,
Like
they'll
you.
have a great time.
Oh, sorry. Sorry. I was meant to think that.
Yeah. they will have a great time because their goal is not to find God and to grow their faith. So them, they have one initial goal and that's it. For a guy who comes and actually wants to look for God and all these things, when they're in church, they'll feel safe. They'll feel like this is a place I belong and everything. When they get out to the world, which is where they spend like 80% of their time, they'll get that pressure of why you not being a man. You get. So on that note, I feel like that's why most men wouldn't go for such programs unless it's that they're really convinced or they really want to change their life.
Do you think, this is for everyone, responding to that, the society or the world of today allows men, whether in relationships or single, to be vulnerable? Like, can a dude be vulnerable without...
Vulnerable to who?
Like to the world?
Yeah. No, I don't think it's highly improbable that we live in such a environment because you're either shamed for it, if it's you're vulnerable to the wrong people, or you are turned into there's a way it becomes, I don't know, you can become a poster for it. While you're just trying to be vulnerable about things, you kind of become a poster and it becomes a whole movement around it rather than just being about the things that you're vulnerable about. So it kind of, there's no real vulnerability available. There's no space for it. There's a very huge misunderstanding of what a man is. So without that kind of basis there, without that kind of examples to live with, vulnerability is left for your room at 3 a.m. For those ones who know, with sad boy music, or with, if you're in a relationship with the girl that you're with, if they have a savior complex.
I have a question.
Or female
on
friends,
that.
right?
Or female friends, yeah.
And probably Tubato, sorry to cut you short, Tubato and Tracy. If you're dating, how would you feel if your dude started crying? Look at Tracy already laughing.
Tracy laughed.
Tracy, go first.
Tracy has already answered.
Yeah,
She's laughed. That's her answer.
I want to hear
No,
Tracy's
like it's
answer
a funny
first.
question.
Wow. It's fine.
Oh my days.
No, not in that sense.
Yeah.
Like,
Men's tears
I
are
don't know, I
funny,
can't
is
even
what
defend
Tracy is
myself,
saying.
man.
Men's tears are funny.
Yes.
Gonna cry, why?
Wait, are you asking me
Yeah.
about who?
I'm asking
Both
both,
of you.
Both of us. But I want you to go first.
No. Wow. I'm really not going to like throw myself under the bus. But I feel like it's okay.
Speak your truth.
Stop
Not
being
the
politically
one
correct.
She says that.
Speak your
She says that.
Yeah,
She's laughing.
Yeah,
Speak your
please.
truth.
It's raw and fearless. So
Speak your truth.
Wow. So the first time, let me just be honest. The first time I saw a guy cry, like it was it a genuine? Yeah, I feel like it was. For him, it was a genuine reason. But then for me, I'm sorry, but I laughed.
You laughed.
Yeah, I laughed. Because, like, I don't know. It was very weird for him to cry in front of me because, like, we can just talk. Why are you crying? I don't know.
It's fair.
But that was 5 years ago. I'm sorry.
fair.
I'm a changed person. So I
tears are for
won't,
Telemundo.
I won't laugh anymore. So
All right.
I am the opposite. I find it deeply attractive if a guy is vulnerable.
what?
That's problematic.
I find-
also.
That
I
is
feel like
quite
that's
problematic.
that's quite
So
problematic.
there's a way you can be vulnerable and masculine at the same time. So it's not
That
necessarily
means
that.
do you have to be masculine to be vulnerable?
Wait,
what do you
wait.
mean vulnerable and masculine at the same time?
We're about to learn more about men from a
Why should I
woman.
be
I'm so
performative
excited.
masculinity so
I'm
that
so
I can be
excited.
vulnerable? What do you mean?
Woman's explaining that.
Jesus.
I was gonna say. So from Tracy's perspective, it's like it almost.
Vulnerability has gender
Vulner-
now. What do you mean vulnerable and masculine?
Are you gonna let me
No,
finish
okay,
speaking?
chill. What do you mean? Okay, no.
I was
you go.
gonna say, there's a way vulnerability is attached to femininity. Like you almost see like a guy crying. It's like, why you? People say that too. Like, why are you acting like a girl? Like, why are you processing it that way? Like, why are you breaking down and crying? But I'm saying there's a way someone can still, like, you can still have deep respect for a person while they're vulnerable. Like, because it doesn't take away from who they are as a man. That's what I meant.
If you saw me crying, wouldn't that change how you look at me?
No.
It depends. Like why? Like I would want to know why are you crying, because maybe it's something like really genuine or something that is really close to your heart. Like if something happened to Avi, and then you started crying, like I would understand. But then there's
Avi is my son.
I'm really selling myself out here. But
Ma'am,
Go
so
ahead.
as I was saying, I find it attractive if a guy is vulnerable. So if you're
Attractive is such a...
vulnerable with me, vulnerable with everybody else, there's a bit of a problem.
Okay, yeah.
Yes,
Okay, yeah.
yes.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. That makes
So
sense.
it's like, yeah, I just like, for me, it's a realness. Like there's a way you're,
you
I
can
don't
also
know.
be vulnerable and not cry.
I don't
Like
mind crying.
I feel like
Emotions
for
are
me it
emotions,
genuinely
brother.
makes
There's people who
makes
get
me
happy
really-
and cry as well.
yeah, there's that, but you can be vulnerable, like
Tears are healthy.
extremely vulnerable and not cry. Because for me, Ivan, I'd feel like really uncomfortable. I'm being really honest.
It's not
I'd
about
feel
you, it's about
really
them.
I know, but okay, yeah. Maybe it's because I don't know how to comfort someone. Like I wouldn't know what to say. So it's like, okay, so now what am I supposed to
So
do?
for me, like that,
Yeah, Soros players.
that awkwardness, for me, like in my head, I see a deeper level of like relation. Like if we can get past this awkwardness, then like our relationship is that much deeper now.
Okay.
They're just seeing tears and I'm like, this is the opportunity to get vulnerable and deeper with you.
What?
It's like a game. I'm sorry. But
No, it's not being vulnerable for the sake of being vulnerable. It's
Yeah.
like it's not necessarily like also vulnerability is not as easy to achieve. So it's not necessarily a daily occurrence. It's not like this guy's
Yeah.
crying over everything.
People have mental
Yes.
illnesses. People can cry every day.
That's true.
It's very
Cry in
true.
your
We're talking about
room.
stable humans,
No.
right? Like people who
Okay. Damn.
no, it just mean people who are like okay.
No.
Well, no one is. To be
No
fair,
one is okay.
No one is okay. But like, I just mean
Point to
like
me
it's
at
not
an okay
necessarily.
man and I will laugh.
And even if they're crying every single day, maybe that's the season that they're in. And then they'll get past that season. Hopefully, they'll get past that season, and then it's a different because life happens, guys. Like I feel like I don't know. I think I've seen a different kind of like amount of like life happening where sometimes I see how it's possible for someone to be crying every single day over the same issue, but at the same time, like it's a season. It doesn't necessarily happen every single like it won't happen for the rest of their lives. There's healing as well as they're being vulnerable.
All right. I think I have a hot take based on that. It's not really even a hot take. It's more of for men when it comes to crying, especially in relationships. I'd say this is my subjective view. It's based on if there's a loss, like what Tracy was saying, or if it has to be something like really.
Bro, like for example, you're listening to like worship music. Is that far-fetched to find you crying?
No, I would find that attractive.
See?
Yeah, that's different.
Damn,
We're
what?
talking about, I think we're talking about crying but we're talking
That's
about crying.
vulnerability
Yes,
as
in
well.
the sense of like in the relationship sense where I'm overwhelmed by emotions. So I start crying. You get? I find that to be dangerous.
Explain.
Why? Because men are built different from women.
Yes. You did not need to act it out, man.
Wow. Even emotionally. So let me use a physical example. I believe women should never fight men because men are very, what's the word? They can, if you've ever been in a fight,
Our brains are wired differently.
yes,
To respond to
somebody will
violence.
be hitting you, you won't feel it. You'll keep going, no matter how big that person is. You'll feel it later. So we're built, that's why I'm saying men should never fight women. Because a man will hit a woman, and it's not like just joking, you're talking about seriously, and then the woman would be shocked about that. So coming back to what I'm talking about is, when it comes to relationships, we are built to take in more. So we're able to absorb in more punches in terms of emotionally than what a lady or a woman would. If, let's say, if Ivan is dating someone, and then Ivan, let's say even something crazy has happened, and Ivan is crying every single day, that lady will have a different outlook
Sorry, someone's laughing behind the camera. It's so funny.
in terms of protection in relation to Ivan. So the lady will now get into a space of, it's like, now I need to protect this person. So there'll be a change in role.
A subconscious change.
Exactly.
Yeah, I get it.
So a dude, sometimes things happen and you feel like, hey, I want to cry, but you have to hold on, hold strong. The reason why is because you are able to take in more punches than what a lady would take in. So I'm not saying certain things can't lead you to there. It's now your ability as now a dude to be able to control that, which I feel like that's why I'm like, dudes shouldn't watch this K-pop, Telemundo, soap operas kind of things. From the point of, a lot of those guys cry a lot.
I love it.
You get? And what happens, it conditions you. Conditions you. So you feel like, I'm not saying that crying is bad.
But I think it's also a cultural thing. So in our African context, I feel like it's very different. And then...
but that's why you see why we have in the West, we have a lot of issues. We have identity issues.
That's true.
No one's talking about the West. I'm talking about K-dramas.
Also the East. Also the East.
They have issues with sexuality and all. Go to Thailand.
Korea. Even South Korea.
You can't tell. You get. So that's my point. In a relationship, there are rules to it. And different people are able to take on different types of punches. So as a dude, you should be able to take in more and not cry as compared to a lady.
I don't even think a guy crying is the same way I cry. Do you understand? Like when I have a breakdown, it's like a proper like meltdown. But a guy would not have a similar type of meltdown where like it's like they're like weeping loudly or like
I'm saying even just the normal crying, you should be able to have a bigger tank plus a reserve tank.
I think that's unhealthy. I think that's a bit unhealthy.
Because this is what I'm saying. I'm not saying that you should not.
Because you're saying suppress your feelings
It's not
because
suppress,
you can take in more
manage, not suppress.
Yeah, but like even when you
and
manage
even sometimes
things,
you need to suppress. You should never just act on all your emotions.
No, I agree with you. Some feelings should be suppressed for sure.
All.
Don't be stoic. That's not what we're saying. Well, I think it's I just mean there's certain situations that definitely weren't like if someone wouldn't cry, I'd be like,
example,
death.
Yes, that one is fine. That's why I said loss. Loss, it's totally okay.
When you're walking down the aisle.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, if I'm walking down the aisle, you better cry.
If you
don't cry, I walk out. I walk out and take two. Because even that's like, even something. Yeah, for example, a proposal. Like if he sheds,
is the one proposing?
Why
would he go on his knees and cry from
because
there?
you're happy he said yes.
No, not even that. He's making his like long drawn out speech about why he wants to marry me.
Wait.
Yeah.
A couple of tears, dude. Like, yeah, that would be awesome. So
I don't use this word loosely, but fetish is something that needs to be addressed here. What do you mean?
But to
It's not
continue
fetish.
before we get on like
Yeah,
this, I'm about to mute.
I'm saying there's certain situations that warrant like someone crying, and it's not weird at all. Like it's not like I'm like, this guy needs therapy.
Yeah. I'd say that's what I'm saying. It's subjective. Like, and I'm not saying that one you need to suppress. I'm talking about you are going through very heavy emotions, and then you're constantly crying, or there are things. So, like for example,
What if they're crying in private? Is that still even that's wrong?
in private, okay, I'd say
That's why 3 a.m. is
like figure out your things. You can do that in private.
So in your definition, that's part of management. So
Yes.
like you
yes,
suppress it until like a later time.
yes.
Schedule.
You schedule your cries.
Yeah, you
It's like,
schedule it.
10 p.m.
It's called the 15 minutes of grief.
Cause it's as dudes, we are called upon to be stronger, whether we like it or not.
Be the anchor, even
Yeah.
if you want to or not.
So we have to be able to manage those things, especially in difficult situations where you're like, all right, things will be fine. Because if I start crying, you are crying, we're all crying. Who will tell us that
Crying
things will be?
family.
I'm crying and I'm
I
telling
think
you
it's
things will
sad
be
because
okay.
even for when I grew up, I don't think I ever saw my dad cry until like maybe when my mom passed
Wait.
away.
Wait.
But that's not
Yeah.
like I don't think it teaches. So for example, like my younger brother, who we all grew up in the same house, not seeing my dad cry, and then he's grown up with like three girls who were very hormonal at the time.
At which point did
adolescents.
you want him to cry, for example?
Why would you want him to cry?
I don't know. Maybe like even happy times. Like I don't know. Like
Wait,
even like
People cry.
Tears of joy or like
Yes.
that,
You
that
just
was,
tears.
that's not crying, that's
can
laughing.
laugh, yeah, you
I
can
can laugh.
laugh
I
and then
laugh
start
until I cry.
tearing.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, and not even that, like a deep, like emotional moment. It doesn't necessarily have
What
to
does
be
that
some
deep
like
emotional moment mean?
my younger siblings being born.
What?
Like I'm saying, it just shows good emotional.
get it 'cause I'm
like there's elements of emotions that are.
But you
good.
know, the thing is, probably, like, you're the first one. The firstborn, probably he cried when that happened. There's a possibility.
But do you understand what I'm saying? I'm saying modeling it done well.
You know, by the time you get to like your third child, you'll be crying all the time.
It's
Another one.
I don't think you understand my point, Q.
Yeah.
I'm saying like people need to like even older men need to model how to handle emotions, like not in a manner that's like you're not going to have it together all the time. But then how do you have like a breakdown, but you're doing it well? Do you understand my point? Like it needs to be something that's taught culturally. Like you see them handle situations like this. So it makes it okay for the younger generation to also do it, but manage it well. Because now we have the extreme of like men being complete sissies, and then like, or either that or like the what is it called? Is it the red pill community?
Red
like
pill.
there's a complete
The
like no
Andrews.
emotions, Andrew Tate and all of that.
I'm not talking about.
So I'm saying now because
role
people
model.
Ivan's role
because
model.
people haven't seen it done well. There's now the extremes.
So what I'm talking about is having that balance. The balance of knowing that as the leader of my family or somebody, as the person who's leading a relationship, having the mental stability, since you like stability, mental stability to know that this is happening right now. This is what I'm feeling, but let me hold back. I shall get to process it in a later time. Yeah. You get? So that's what I'm saying. Because
You're like, my emotions are not the priority
Yeah.
right now. Something else is. So how are they doing? How are they coping? What are the plans that need to be made? Everything can be figured out later.
Exactly, and I feel like the point to what Bato was saying about a father being a role model to the sons is him. He never had a time to think about his emotions. He never got to a point in his life where he was like, oh, I need to stop and think about my emotions. I'm sure when he was growing up, all he needed was a job, a wife, taking care of the kids. Like there was always something. So he never knew how to handle it. So for him to take it, pass it down, he can't, because even him, he doesn't know how to do that. Which is an issue, because now the gap is guys have a lot of free time and they're thinking about
That's
it.
what I'm saying. It's because they haven't seen it done.
Yeah, but now because of that, they go to the extremes, like you were saying, of they act like women.
yeah.
Sissies.
They act like women, and the other ones act like stoics, which I don't know. The balance is, I don't know how to get to that point of balance.
Do we even know what that looks like?
I think it's just being able to verbally explain your emotions after a while, obviously. Like you said, you compartmentalize it, focus on what is happening, and then now speak about it later. Because the reason why you get overwhelmed is because everything is coming together and you are refusing to, our body cannot handle it anymore. So it's just, it comes out in tears. So for you to be able to compartmentalize it and then speak about it later, it would never pile up in the long run. That's what I think.